Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Phyllis Smith. New tonight, a hospital in Marietta is working with a transportation company to provide free transportation for patients. Early Friday morning, Memorial Health System announced their new partnership with Vesper Medical Transport. Danny Moore from Marietta Memorial Health said with the recent expansion of geographic footprint, they realized there was a need of control over patient flow. For several years, MHS has been using other regional companies for transport, but decided it was time to create their own, according to Moore. The transportation system should be running by February of 2026, according to Moore. This new transportation will not affect cost, but Moore said he does believe patients will see quicker service.
That it's their neighbor in the back of that truck, not just my neighbor in the back of that truck. Having that community feel, caring for members of your community, it's just different than caring for a patient. You want to care for the person rather than the patient.
For more about the new Memorial Health Transportation, you can head over to WTAP.com.